Hey, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're joining us today. And you are so in for an extremely special treat today. Delighted to welcome amazing Lark Ambris, who I had the pleasure of meeting in the positive intelligence community. I think I had a chance to listen to her amazing voice on stages and to watch her live. So, what I'm really excited about is today's our first chance to really kind of dive in and have a wonderful dialogue with the amazing energy that Lark always brings to everything. So, I am so excited, without further ado, to introduce you to amazing Lark and welcome. Warm, warm welcome.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. That was such a warm welcome. Thank you. And I have to tell you that, yes, we did certainly meet in PQ World. And I think I met you by you having a conversation with Bill live. And I remember you were talking about doing lives for the first time or audio rooms, and he was working with you through that. Do you remember that? Yeah. So that's when I first stumbled upon you. And it took me forever to actually circle back and like literally connect. And then I realized, oh my gosh, but there she is on LinkedIn. And then I started following you around as we do on LinkedIn. And I've always been happy to see you in some of my spaces. But yes, Lark Ambris by way of introduction. I am a PQ coach. I focus on mindset. I have been an entrepreneur. I have run factories before. I've lived in Africa. I've traveled a bit. I've done some different things. I come from the corporate world. I worked on Wall Street first. I was born in the Caribbean. So I'm a pretty worldly gal. And I like to say that now this is my season of bringing it all together. This is my season of bringing it all together. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about a whole lot of things as the afternoon unfolds, but I'll leave it there for now. This is the season of bringing things together.
Wow. And you're really taking me back kind of in a conversation with Bill. And it's really funny because I reached out to him recently at a crossroads. And thanks, amazing Jen Berger, for joining us. Lots of sage PQ energies in the house. I I think back to those times where the introvert sometimes really gets stuck in our own
Mhm.
thoughts, whether it's saboteurs or a lot happening. And I remember it's really funny before positive intelligence, I rarely would go live. I had never gone live before on LinkedIn. So the two kind of overlap, the kind of mini graduation from PQ, so to speak, from the beginning program. And I have to thank Nathan at Positive Intelligence for helping me learn how to raise my hand because I had been following Bill, but I was terrified to like raise my hand and like start a conversation. And I think that's one of the things that I love so much. Not just that you picked a Whitney song today, but the real reminder we've got a lot going on many levels, and that need to constantly separate from it. But I remember also being really nervous when I did raise my hand with Bill because then I started meeting people in breakout rooms, and they're like, "I know you," and I'm the introvert. I'm like, "Wow, who is who is it that you know?" You
Right.
know, because I think, and I think that's one of the beautiful things that I love so much about this song is we're not really sure of the legacy part. We're not sure of the voice with which we show up, and especially when we're not always comfortable in front of cameras, behind cameras, behind the scenes. I had the honor and pleasure of watching you do something new over the weekend for Social Saturday Chat. And what I love is, I'm not going to say because somebody said it about me, but boy, you exploring something new from the beautiful Lark perspective with extraordinary content. And you're like, we're going to do this. Yeah, cuz oh my gosh, what a great outline. If you have not had a chance, to our listeners who are on LinkedIn or watching podcasts on other platforms, definitely check Lark out on Social Saturday Chat. But I
No,
think sometimes that, where do we put our voice part? It takes a really long time sometimes to really locate that.
I agree with that 100% because in some ways, I have to tell you, I feel like I'm still finding mine. Um, and I resonate so much with what you said. If you had said to me as recently as maybe 3 years ago that I would be so comfortable sitting here just chatting with you, it's actually being piped out onto the LinkedIn platform, live, I would have laughed in your face, right? I truly would have laughed in your face. It was unimaginable at the time. And so for anyone who's listening, I want people to really pay attention to that. We really do underestimate how much we can achieve and how much more comfortable we could be when we learn to start just leaning into our own authenticity, which of course will bring us to our song for today, right? But it's searching for that voice, and you get preoccupied, especially in the beginning. How are they gonna? What are they gonna think? And are they gonna this? Am I gonna use the right words? And oh my gosh, I stumbled, or I used the wrong words, or the grammar wasn't proper, or whatever. And we get so caught up in that it then stifles the message. And I think now in this season, you know, I just show up, and I think that's what people get now. I think that's what they get.
Oh,
you
what a
know.
beautiful, rich gift in it. And hi, Lisa Fevek, was sending you warm hugs back.
Hey,
Uh,
Lisa.
yes. Oh my gosh. And Christy, thank you so much for popping in to join us today. I've been a Whitney fan from way back, and I'm laughing because there's a recent clip by Elijah Drown of he created a short video to kind of promote their hotness, the Hotness Unleasher
Mm.
show that he
Mm-hmm,
and Trevor have, and they were doing a clip, and I laughed because Elijah, he went deep in the archives, and there I am chair dancing, and I'm
mm-hmm.
laughing because the recent chair dance is to Whitney Houston. Shel
Hey.
Shapiro and I were dancing during our audio series. So I have to thank you, because Whitney, whew, from way back when, from that very first album, and
Yes.
not just a call to the soul or call to the spirit, but really delighted that you suggested her song as a frame for our dialogue today.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if people know what the song is. Oh, there it is. It's The Greatest Love of All. So I love the song in and of itself, but I really love Whitney's version of it. It just speaks to my soul. And I have to tell you, that's one of those go to songs when, we all have a song for a period. And there are times when I may be dealing with something deeply emotional or whatever it is, and I need a reminder. Very few songs can get me back to that place of being able to connect with me and to remind me of who I am and why I'm here. Uh, than that song, you know, than that song. So yeah, the greatest love of all. Um, so much just wakes up in me when I hear that song. you know, so much wakes up in me when that song plays. So I'm glad that you love it.
I do, and I think I love it from the perspective of having fallen in love with the song many years ago without really diving into
Right.
that process of learning to love Mel. That came
Mm-hmm.
much, much later. So sometimes we're hearing the words, or something's resonating with us, or a beat or a spirit, or in in that case of an invitation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it is the invitation to kind of show up a little more presence, to do some of the professional or the personal development work that we're helping others navigate through as we're navigating it ourselves, but that
Mm-hmm.
that real reminder just to kind of show up a little bit.
Yeah.
And let, like, whether it's the voice out, let our light out, let our energies out. I think
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it now from the from a context that's just like I didn't really understand the lyrics of the songs. I'd sing it loud and off key,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know,
As we all have, I'm sure, at some point.
you
So
know.
yeah. Are we gonna share the lyrics with these guys, or should I just share some
You
that
can
mean
definitely
nothing?
share the lyrics. Definitely share the lyrics.
So there are
Oh, that would
some,
be fantastic.
like, I wish I had thought to just have them like scroll across or something. But there's some key elements in that that really really matter to me. When we talk about um, essentially it's when we are looking externally for the validation, for the attaboys, for the love, for the care, until we can get to the point of understanding, oh my gosh, I can give that to me. Um, Everything opens up when you can truly embody and embrace that I have found the greatest love of all inside of me, that no one could love you more than you could love you. And I know for me, I got stuck in that looking for it outside of me for years, decades even. I was a full grown woman until I realized that that was what I had been doing. So it's really amazing when you literally feel that, understand that, embody that, then you can take more chances. You can just go for what it is you want. You can be a lot more unapologetic and live a lot more intentionally, because you realize that some may love you, some may not. You may want people to love you. You may think they do, and then find out that they disappoint you, betray you, whatever it is. But the one common truth that can anchor you right back is knowing that the greatest, greatest love of all, the most pure love that you could possibly experience, is within you. So I don't know how deep we wanted to go today, but that truly has been one of those anchor songs for me when I feel things aren't going my way, or I'm feeling a huge disappointment or whatever. Um, so somebody is yeah, and so yeah, I didn't go into the whole childhood and why for years I sang that song. It always brought me comfort even before understanding how profound it truly was. It was well into adulthood before I truly understood what that song was truly truly saying. But yeah, um greatest love of all inside of us.
Uh, warm, warm welcome, Andrea, Lois, and oh my gosh, it's so great after getting a chance to hear your voice with Lark over the weekend on Social Saturday Chat. And welcome, Matthew. Thank you so much for joining us. And Andrea, thanks for joining us while you're driving and sharing comments. You go, girl.
Be
During
safe.
her busy retail season, Andrea's got amazing Tony Ann organics. A real reminder. I'm curling up with iced coffee today, but my favorite cups of tea are from Andrea. She's got amazing, wonderful, wonderful products and fabulous holiday gifts. I know, as you would say, hey, it's important, keep paying it forward so we all know about some of the amazing resources and beautiful products and gifts that are available from some of our talented coaches. I love going deep, and Lark, I am so not surprised. I think the thing that caught me when I first heard the song was the grace with which she sang it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
as young women, as professional women, as women of color, her grace, her beauty, her elegance, her
Mm-hmm.
eloquence. Besides just her amazing voice, just to captivate us and delight us. I think every time I listen to the song, and I listened to it a lot in the last week, I have to thank Lark for that. And I watched Preacher's Wife, which is one of my
Mm.
5 favorite holiday movies. Everybody's asking on LinkedIn, "What are your holiday music movies?" I said, "Well, Preacher's Wife and Black Nativity, and there's a bunch of others that I absolutely love." But I think there's a grace in there in the invitation to explore loving ourselves, and from that lens of our saboteurs or imposter syndrome or all the other narratives that can be going on as we navigate life and all the other roles. I think there's such a gift in her song. I think the thing that always hit me was the beginning. I believe the children are our future.
Yeah.
And teacher's kid, daughter of a scholar, and the real reminder, the
Mm.
legacy part of it. I think I understood that soul level, probably generations, reminded you of, family reunions or other, childhood engagements. And Andrea, I promise you, I will share the names of the movies. And I'm glad you're in between stops. I'm gonna add these so you have some of them. And Andrew's joining us on Meta, which is another place that some of our guests are joining us. So definitely look Lark up there also. But I think Jen's reminding us we have a childhood lens of exploring love or
Mm-hmm.
exploring and redefining what's great, what's positive to us. That journey of learning to love yourself, it's
Mm-hmm.
taken me decades, and I'll say it from the perspective of not even so much of the narratives, but for myself through the trust journey and the ignite trust that having an opportunity to really just re-explore and redefine what love means and what love is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is a big part of the beautiful lyrics. And I love what Lark's saying, because I will add the lyrics into the post for those of
I
you who
think
haven't
that
had
would
a
be,
chance.
yes.
Yeah, there's a
Don't know
link.
who that could possibly be. I mean, but it is what it is. We are a pretty global community these days. And you started talking, and I wanted to just I can't escape mental fitness. Because we were talking. I know that you would have caught me talk, and I think we share this in common, where we have a high hyper rational saboteur, and it is important. It was important for me to recognize the role that hyper rational plays in my world. I needed my world to be very organized and clinical. I needed to feel very in control of things. I needed to be able to analyze what the heck was going on around me. That was my go-to safe place. When I could analyze it and I could understand it and I could distill everything down to the data and the facts, then I knew for sure. Then I felt comfortable because I had evaluated that. That's just the way things were. I needed that for my world to make sense. And so you kind of fast forward through life in that zone of always explaining and analyzing, but not too much room for the emotion and the tapping into self and loving self and seeing yourself for the beautiful little soul that you were. That took a while. And I will confess, the first time I did the 6-week program, just as a newbie, that whole grant program, I had a really hard time. We only had to look at that baby picture. It took me weeks before I was able to do that, because I hadn't quite tapped in there yet. My world had still been very structured in facts, figures, analysis. Things had to make sense in very logical manner. So that whole emotional side, tapping into that was really, really, really hard. So now when I think of all of the things the greatest love of all meant to me without even knowing that that's why, it all kind of started to make more sense, you know, as one goes through self improvement, self development, just self knowing. You can then start to understand that the world isn't so scary, that people will come and people will go, and that's okay. Businesses will come and businesses will fail. That's okay. you are still you. Your little light's still in there. It's still in there. We got to just love it all the decisions, the good ones, the quote unquote bad ones, all of them. Just love you completely. That took a lifetime to learn. So just leaving that there.
It did, and I really appreciate that through the lens of my parents had a childhood photo out, and I never understood why they had this out decades later. I finally had a fabulous conversation with my dad last year about this, about a deep conversation about it. But I think, as you were saying, that search and the stuff about emotions, that childhood picture was in a favorite dress on a day when a school photo, a school photo, and the day ended up turning out to be a day that really damaged my trust in
Mm-hmm.
others and my self trust. And I really was kind of caught in that story because I had never really processed it. That day was the first day of a childhood fight. My dad wrote my brother and I a letter, which will, as my brother says, it's one of, in as we honor dad, our family's guardian angel, especially over the holidays with some new traditions. I needed to really explore it through the lens, and I really appreciated my pop because he told the adult story. So that picture that was taken, they received back a copy probably 6 or 7 weeks after Martin Luther King was assassinated. And my dad actually told me the story of the other side, the trust part that as an adult, as a child, I never could have processed. It was such a
Mm-hmm.
gift towards helping my hyper rational and helping really, I think, acknowledge emotions because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't acknowledge them in a personal setting. We don't acknowledge them in a professional setting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's no official seat at the table for our emotions.
Right.
And I think that was one of the things too that I really noticed, like you were saying before about raising my hand in positive intelligence communities. My hyper rational was trying to explore emotions publicly. It actually led to me being able
Mm-hmm.
to really explore
Wow.
them live. So in the
Yeah.
lives and in the going lives, there's a real gift there because, as you would say, we have an opportunity to share them, to really remind each other we're not alone. We all feel isolation. We all have our gray days, and I love your beautiful optimism, but especially Lark. I love your chapter 7 in the book. Tell us. I know you'll all. We're gonna give you some great places to stay in touch with Lark, and some great reasons and great ways that you can learn more about her beautiful story. But please tell us about. I absolutely loved your chapter in the book.
Awesome. So, for the people who are wondering what is she talking about, this summer, a couple of weeks ago, I was part of an anthology. Um, I am one of 12 authors in my book, and 3 books were released simultaneously. And it all had to do with our relationship on this networking platform, this professional networking platform. And mine was about finding purpose and making a business out of finding your purpose. And so I took us on a journey of when I literally hit a brick wall. Or I hit a tile floor. In my story, I just spoke about that, my come to Jesus moment, and just how long it takes between coming to terms with what am I doing with my life? Am I living the life I was born to be? Am I in alignment with what my purpose is? And for a lot of us, if you're like me, you come into the knowing that I'm not, but you still stay stuck in that cycle for a long time. In my case, years. And I think I had alluded to in my chapter that it hadn't been the first time I had had such a hard pause to really contemplate this. but I had done nothing, and that would have been a full decade prior. It took me this long and a whole lot of other life events to literally bring me to my knees and navigate through. It's time to face up to who and what you are. Know that it may not be perfect. Know that the world sees you as this finance professional, and the world sees you as all the different labels that others confer upon Lark and who Lark is, up until the point when I decided to truly own who Lark is and who Lark was born to be. It had been a rough, rough road. So this greatest love of all truly blossomed on the floor of my factory, which I take us through the journey from that point of me just, you know, understanding that it's just time to fully live in mindfulness and just do what I was put on the earth to do. And at the start of this conversation, we were talking about how I have lived in all these different places, which means I have lived and worked with women in Africa, in Europe, in the US, in the Caribbean. Women I know, I am one. I have had relationship with women, all kinds of difficult relationship with women over the years. And so being able to pull all of that together as a coach today is like the gift I have to bring to the world. But it took me forever to come to terms with that. I was intimidated, Melanie. Like I truly wasn't ready, because the world told me that I was a finance professional. The world told me that I had studied accounting and that's what accountants are supposed to do. And all of this feely, woo-woo stuff. And that was not for me. I believed that up until the point when it was, that's what they say. But what is the Lark saying? What's the true Lark saying? Really? And when you can step into that place, let me tell you, like, hard doesn't mean anything anymore. Hard just means, oh, look, time to learn some more different ways of doing something. So yeah, my chapter is the journey from where I was into fully embracing becoming a coach, and just helping people understand it's not going to be an easy road. It's not this beautiful, clear, straight path from the moment you come into your own to whatever your today is. It's a journey, and it's going to be tough sometimes. And you're going to need skills and help and all kinds of things to kind of get there. So yeah, that's my chapter. And also for those who are writers, it's not an easy process. I'm not going to lie to you. We may want to write a book. We may know we have a lot of stories to tell, but you may need support. And that's just a reality of it. Doesn't make you weak, doesn't make it hard. It's just a thing, right? You may just need help in the beginning. But I strongly encourage anyone who is on a writing journey to keep at it. It's not an easy one, but it's worth it in the end.
You're really hitting my heart because I was the finance major. So I
Ah,
was
there you go. Another thing in common.
the finance major with the accounting minor
Boom.
who, left school and went straight into accounting and wasn't
Same.
sure why I didn't experience the same love of
Exactly.
the profession, why it didn't
Right.
exactly light me up. We were, as they would say, we were doing the things.
Right.
And at the same time, we weren't necessarily taught to really feel the feels that
Right.
came much later. And we kind of separated that from our journey,
Hmm.
the exploration, and especially professionally. I
Yeah.
think of it also from the perspective of people encouraging you. Well, what's your why? What's your purpose? What's
Hmm.
your mission? I think sometimes in that journey of being grounded in the financial, and for me, it was a heavy, strong operations journey, so much so that clients will laugh at me sometimes because somebody said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're not always social. You're kind of geeky." And I said, "Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
geeky. I was a bean counter. It was up to my I filed my boss's taxes. You know what I mean? I did books. I was, the office manager in HR, and we really, you know, Jen's mentioning it about putting ourselves in boxes.
Boxes.
We boxes sometimes are provided to us. Those little
Exactly.
slots, those little peg slots in the wall. I remember that. And in conversations, and I really appreciate it, in conversations, the reminder to dream outdoors, dream
Mhm.
outside. Um, my amazing mother in law, beautiful card she gave me about coloring outside the lines. She knew it was
Mm.
something that I needed to learn.
Yeah.
Now some people will be like, oh, windmill coloring within the lines. And, I'm not the best artist, but I think, as Jen's saying, it can make change even harder, and it
Yeah.
can make that part of the journey. Grateful for really good coaches, great inspiration, great examples to kind of look outside. I think it's one of the things too. I had a lot of fun when I was watching The Preacher's Wife. The reminder, some of us are within specific boxes, whether it's something from our family history, something religious,
Mhm.
something spiritual, something we were taught. The conversations about how we share information or share patterns with the children that we love in our lives. Delighted this weekend to have seen our godson and to really hear myself say it out loud. We just met a girlfriend. He's in his mid 30s, but this is the first. We have known him for years. This is the first young lady. He he brought her to a family dinner last year. We missed it. He just brought her to his grandmother's, and she just walked in. I loved it. You could feel the greatest love of all present
Mm.
in herself. And as I'm celebrating, he's spending some time with an amazing, beautiful young woman, and they're living together. We're all good. She offered to sing, and the charm with which she approached the song and music,
Yeah.
the beauty inside her, you could hear it in her voice. You could hear it in her voice. You could feel it. I mean, and it was wonderful at a holiday party to like just feel
Mhm.
that energy, that spirit, that for those of us who hadn't, we were just getting to know her, just learning how to pronounce her beautiful name. And here she is with such a joy that
Mhm.
she's radiating the love that she walked in with. And I'm laughing because she's about to sing, and she's like, I don't know anybody here. I said, well, before you start, welcome to the family. And I opened my arms. No one else in the room has said this today. You're not sure you're in the right place with tremendous, and wow, what a beautiful, beautiful voice. I'm laughing too because Ari's is talking about boxes of metaphors. I love that. How about a softer box where we can flex it in accordance to our heart? Ah, Ari's, I love that.
That is beautiful.
Wow.
That is beautiful.
Hmm. I like the
That is
idea
so
about a
beautiful.
softer box, and
I
in some
do
cases, no
too.
box.
I love that. No, I really do because I'm thinking about it, right? And anybody who's heard me speak, talk about the influence of Caribbean parents, right? You know, you were talking earlier about your purpose. Like I always knew I wanted to work with people. People were always important to me. Even before I knew there was such a thing like coaching, I knew I wanted to like be able to sit there and just study people and then be able to help them to do things and be things and all of that. But that box wasn't available to me. I was given like lawyer, doctor, business, like you literally had the three boxes. I articulated, what about social? That's not for people like you, i.e., people who had certain grades, people who were destined to do other things. And now I'm just thinking, boy, there could have been another box. So I could have been in my box, my you have to do this box, but then also poked the little holes in there, made it out of a different fabric so that I could have still done that and as opposed to for so many years living in this little box, not really understanding that I could have kicked those walls down. Like, it just I don't know. It took me a minute to figure out. I hope other people kind of get there faster than I did, but I love this. I love the thought of a softer box. I really love that. I
I do
really
too,
love
and I think sometimes the act of being restrained, like I always thought of those boxes as a kid, and I'm probably dating myself. We had to make these things called dioramas. I was a kid with very big feet, and and Roz, hi, forgot to say hi in the deepness of our conversation. That
that.
so those shoe boxes, we would save them because you had to make like a story box within a
Mm,
shoe box. We called it a diorama. I don't know where the name came from. I have no idea how they taught us this in elementary school, but
mm,
I remember thinking, wow, I don't want to live in a box. But
mm,
it really is sometimes the reminder, the structure that it's suggested, that's recommended, the invitation, I love, and I think I fell in love with the arts for that reason. If I really think back to being a kid, we mentioned it before, I would have grown up to be a writer. I thought
mm,
acting was my passion of what I
mhm,
really was in love with. And I think I loved plays. I loved that curtain going up, that kind of excitement, that buzz,
mhm.
whether you were in the audience or you were backstage. And just the reminder, flexibility, of having a conversation, like you're saying, with somebody else. Just a totally different perspective. But I really do,
Yeah.
Jen. I like your dotted line. I like your
Yeah,
dotted
I love that too. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Hmm.
I think it's cool too from the, the sage, the positive intelligence perspective, and just also from the perspective of we have suggestions. Mom wanted a businesswoman. Here I am. I remember her laughing when I first started going live. She's like, you seem like you're teaching. And I started laughing. She's like, you seem like you're teaching, you're sharing information, you're sharing resources. And I started laughing. She's like, I never thought of you as a teacher. I think it was really funny because she didn't realize the passion for the love of learning,
Yeah.
that lifelong learner frame.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I love, as you're saying, from the perspective of learning, people say we should figure out our purpose or our mission or our why. And there may not always the suggested way may not always be
Right.
the right way for us. And Heidi,
Right.
welcome, welcome. Ooh, what a cool comment. Oh, I love that. Woo. The box or lines or guidance come from a loving place, as I know you know. Some don't get guidance and flounder trying to find their footing. Whoa. So, so true.
True. Oh yeah. I mean, this is one of the things I think adulting can teach when you get to that place of understanding. There was no malintent by giving me the three boxes that I was supposed to have fit into, with absolutely no thought or sensitivity to. But what about you, little being? That was we need to find a job. We need to make money. Like blah blah blah. It wasn't malintent. Literally, it was coming from a place of you're gonna secure a good a good future for yourself. You're gonna be able to take care of yourself. That kind of thing. We know, but that's kind of adulting. That's one of those, I think, yeah, that's one of those coming into your own, being so in love with yourself that you can forgive everything and everyone else because they too were doing the best that they could, and they may not have gotten to the place of being able to relinquish old ideas, and it's still too fair, it's still too scary for them. We have that opportunity. We're the blessed ones, you know we are the blessed ones. Yeah, for sure.
Mm, thank you so much for your gems. We're going to keep revisiting them that are in the amazing comments, and thank you for
Yes.
really reminding us. Besides just that journey of discovery over the course of our lives, it's about our energy. It's about paying it forward so others
Mhm.
can feel it and feel the vibe. And I think that's the wonderful message underneath of the greatest love of all. That inside we may discover some gifts to share, some
Yep.
gifts that maybe we weren't aware of, and like Jim would say, either if there can be the feeling of a constraint or of a restriction from the suggestion or the guidance. And as many say, it's done with love. You know,
Mm-hmm. 100.
the I think this might be a better path for you. And I think that's the part sometimes that takes some navigating. We're all on a different road,
Yeah. Yeah.
different
Yeah.
timing, different place, different inspiration.
Yeah.
Lark,
Yeah.
where can we find you other than social Saturday chats and on LinkedIn and as an amazing author on Amazon and other locations? Where can we find you? What's the
Yeah.
best place to stay in touch?
So, guys, listen, what I want us to keep in mind is that 2025 is going to open up a whole lot of new avenues for connection. And for me, how can you find me? How can you connect with me? What I want to put out into the universe, and I'm starting to plant the seeds now because people may need to plan for it differently. Different people may need to plan for it differently. But what I am actively working on is creating an absolutely beautiful space here in St. Lucia so that people can come down here and have an immersive coaching experience. I'm working on the website. I'm working on all of the promoting and all of the marketing and all of that stuff. But what I want to leave with people is that there are people like myself who I'm not just a coach. You want a one-off session to get ready to do a TED talk, whatever. Yeah, I can help you with that. That's fine. But what I really want, I want to approach transformation differently. I truly want people to come down to this beautiful island that I get to call home and just stay here. Like 5 days, 7 days, come on down to St. Lucia. When I have all of the paraphernalia and links and all of that stuff, I'll let people know. But for now, Social Saturday chat is the inevitable. You'll find me there. And LinkedIn is my primary point of contact. I do have a Facebook page. Um, I do have a Facebook group called the Chaos to Clarity. Um, I don't even use it that much, but it's something that I want to reignite. I have a YouTube channel that I'm looking to energize at some point. It's called the People Pod channel. And that's because I want to create people pods. I want to have immersive coaching experience for small groups of people, 4 people, 5 at most, and just take us on an amazing journey. And then we'll go to the Sulphur Springs and we'll go do drives and we'll eat great food and we'll have lots of great entertainment, but we're going to work really hard too. So that's what I want to leave with people. That's what 2025 is opening up. I'm calling it in. That's what I want to that's what I want to make happen in 2025. That's what I'm working on in 2025. So there you are.
Mm, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, and especially as you're mentioning retreat and spaces to just grow and transform, which I think
Yeah.
just that wonderful invitation when we're ready to work hard and
Yeah.
ready to be in a beautiful place to
That's
play
the
hard
thing.
too.
Yes. Yes. And so I know for some people, they can just hop on a plane and do it tomorrow. For some, they may need to plan a little bit longer. That's fine and that's fair. But I want us to start, especially as women of color. We keep thinking of everyone else's needs and we can't do this, we can't spare money for that, we can't take time for that because X, because Y. We need to actually put ourselves a little higher on that self-care list. And so I want to start planting that seed that yes, there are places I would love for you to come and do it with me, but I'm not the only one who's doing this. And it may just be a staycation where you just go to another state or you go to another part of your state or whatever. But I really want us to start thinking about how do we tap into ourselves and truly fall in love with ourselves so that we can actually move forward and live the lives we were born to live and enjoy.
Ah, I truly love that, and especially from the beautiful frame that you picked of the greatest love of all. I remember Saint Lucia as a beautiful, beautiful stop, and too short a stop on a cruise. You know,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
too short a stop. So I love your invitation to just come and
Come
hang out
on.
and relax and dive in. And Heidi, yes, there's a me first movement, and I think I was reminded of that in a wonderful conversation um, about trust that I'm really looking forward to
Mm,
continuing
mhm.
tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm getting
Ooh,
trained
nice.
on how to run circles of trust in a different
Ooh,
perspective, through a different lens, and it's something
right.
we'll add to the retreat as part
Nice.
of, But I love it because the person who's teaching me in a course shared that empathy, if you reverse the first two letters, it becomes mepathy, the reminder from the self care part, from the self love, the self
Mhm.
nourishment,
Love that.
to as we're paying it forward and helping others and really hopefully filling our well springs or our reserves, because otherwise we run out of
Exactly.
energy, batteries, stuff to live, healthy fuel, inspiration, all that good stuff. But just especially take some time, take some space, and ooh, we're gonna stay posted because Lark is inviting us to beautiful Saint Lucia,
That's
and
right.
uh as you know, we're today's a snowy day for us,
I
and
heard.
it's another rather chilly week. But I just really just want to thank you for joining us and invite you also, Lark, please come back. Let's keep continuing this conversation. And
Sure.
uh, if you haven't had a chance, we'll also get Lark to share a link to the book in the chat, and you'll laugh. The story that I read is part of a trilogy. I have the entire trilogy. For those of
Good.
you who know I love to read, I have it on a Kindle. It's really cool to be able to read on your desktop or on another device while traveling.
Hmm.
And Andrea gave us an invitation also. Share some of the holiday movies that are lighting you up
Awesome.
with with fabulous music and and great energy, and let's keep paying that forward. But love to just thank you, Lark, for joining us. Thank our guests who are joining us live or for replays. Thank you for sharing, for commenting, just really for love and light and for gracing us today. Thank you so much, Lark.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you. And I wish everyone a happy, whatever you're going to celebrate, Kwanzaa, Christmas. There's another one, a Jewish one, I think, Hanukkah,
Hanukkah. Hmm.
whatever people are celebrating. I just wish you all the best. Do it safely. And yeah, it's my wish for everyone.
I I love that, and find some time for peace and good music, some good fellowship, and tremendous self care. We want to
Mhm.
thank you for joining us today. Hope you stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, stay in touch, and hope you have a magnificent day filled with opportunities and possibilities. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again, Lark. Take great care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.